Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Healthy Schools Revolution. It's Carmen Johnson again, and it is my pleasure today to introduce to you a game changer in his own right. This is Mike Ferraro, who is a native New Yorker, and Mike is the founder of Growum, which is a super cool, fun, educational tool for kids, teaching them how to grow their own fruits and vegetables. And Mike, first of all, welcome, and thanks for your time and coming to spend with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us, what is Growums?
Well, Growums in the technical terms, Growums an innovative way to get kids to grow their own herbs and vegetables and eat healthier because of that. And but what makes it different than any other product that's out on the street or out in the public these days is what we've done is we've actually taken, kids live in their own world right now with all the technology at their fingertips. And so I thought to myself, when my kids were a little bit younger, how could we get kids to grow and eat healthier so they're not just sitting around and they're not just buried in their technology? So I kind of came up with this idea to combine different types of foods that kids like pizzas and tacos and things like that, and turn those into gardens. And then I came up with my team. We came up with 74 cartoon characters, and that's what's called the Growums, the cartoon characters. And then what we did is we combined the electronic and the real world. And so a child would get like a pizza garden or a taco garden, and then they would go online to growums.com, and these 74 cartoon characters come to life, and we've got about 125 videos that teach the children from the minute they get their package, from adding water, planting the seeds, putting in the right sunlight, transplanting it, where to transplant it, how to transplant it, et cetera, all the way till they're ready to harvest it and make pizza out of everything that they've grown. So it not only does it educate them on how to do it, but it actually shows them in a fun way, and they kind of become friends with these Growums characters, and so now they're listening to them, and so that's, in 30 or 40 seconds, that's kind of what Growums is all about.
Oh, I'm going to deep dive and ask a lot of questions, but, the first question that begs to be asked is, what got you into Growums? I understand you had a landscape background?
Well, actually, I'm a third generation. My dad was the president of the New York State Nurserymen's Association when I was a kid. My grandfather started his own little garden center, if you will, out of the back of a station wagon. And Ferraro family had a nursery, garden center. We had a florist and a landscaping business. So we did anything from, planting trees to building baseball fields to making corsages for people around the holidays. And when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, I used to, the only place that was warm in upstate New York when I was 10 years old was inside of my dad's hot greenhouse.
Gotcha.
So I used to go in there, and he had these little pellets, and when you add water to these peat moss pellets, they went from about the size of an Oreo cookie, and they grew upwards to about 2 inches tall, and then you plant the seeds in there, and then they would sprout, and then you'd put them in more dirt, and then by the time spring came, they would be vegetable plants that he could sell.
Okay.
So when I came up with this idea of Growums, originally I was trying to figure out, how do we get all these plants to the kids? And then one day I was walking through the store and I'm like, those pellets, there they are.
Oh my gosh.
So I came up with a couple of the folks at the office, and we came up with the concept of how, and then a gentleman by the name of John Owens came up with, my lifelong friend since I was 5. He came up with the tray and how to put the tray together, and helped me design the little characters to get it started, and so that's how it all got started.
I have it right here. Let's see if I can put it up and I've got to make sure the screen clicks over to me. But here is, see the cute little character? This is the Growum, and this, Mike said, this packaging is now changed. This is a plate style package, but they've now got a more shelf friendly maybe square package to house these in. But you can see the Growum's name and the cute little characters. And this is a salad garden. And Mike said they also have a taco garden and a pizza garden, which are things obviously kids love. So how does this parlay into the classroom? And how are you using this in the school system?
Well, the school systems are actually using them in two different ways right now. One way is they're buying the gardens for the schools themselves. So they'll buy the gardens and they'll get the kids involved from an educational standpoint in starting their own garden, and they may even have a garden there on the school grounds, which a lot of schools are actually doing, more and more every day now. And then the other way that the schools are using them is the schools are using them as fundraisers. So they take a garden like that, like a pizza garden will grow maybe $75 to $100 worth of herbs and vegetables.
Wow.
And it costs $10, and we give the schools 50% of the revenue. So they use that, not to put down any other products, but they're using that to take a healthier approach to their fundraisers than selling, the standard stuff like chocolate and, things like that, and the $25 wrapping paper and stuff. So if anybody's listening that sells a $25 wrapping paper, I'm sorry, but
yeah. That's right. We're not bashing any of the other fundraisers. Just there's always choices, and if you make a healthy choice for your kids, we're all in favor of making healthy choices. And so this is a great gift, really, that you guys have created. I see it as a gift to the community because now there's a healthier option to choose when schools are trying to find a fundraiser. So that's how the schools can utilize it. And then you talked about the website. Is there information for teachers on the website about how to sort of work with the children once they get the gardens, or is this something just the kids take home and then they do it with their parents?
Well, first of all, anybody can use the garden. It doesn't have to be a child. We've actually sold the product to assisted living homes where where the elderly folks are getting on there and they're watching the cartoon videos.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah, because the videos themselves, all right, everything inside the videos, we had a team of PhDs in horticulture that came up with all of the content, and so if you were to, it's not quite as detailed, but it's like creating miniature master gardeners. It's that type of information, except we bring it down to real simple. We take out all of the not to sound too healthy, but we take out all the fat that is in something like that and just make it real simple and fun for the kids. So the videos are really the best way, and if I were to say anything to the teachers, like how do the teachers best help the kids? Just make sure the kids are watching the videos, and then they can, in the classroom, the teachers can actually go through the videos. Exactly.
I see that. And so I heard you say fun. What other things do you think are making this Growum's package successful with the children? Your characters, your fun. What else have you seen?
Yeah, well, the process itself and the videos, the videos are fun and funny at the same time. We also have a number of games that are on the website, and we've got coloring books that are on the website. You can download some of your favorite characters and print them out, and the kids can color them. And and we're getting ready to build that out even more over the next 12 to 24 months. We're hoping also that we'll down the road here, we're hoping to have a complete cartoon series of the Growum's adventures, and all of that will be about healthier lifestyles, and their adventures will be about healthier lifestyles, in this little world that lives beneath the leaves in someone's garden. So it'll be pretty fun.
And what is the best way for a school to partner with you all?
The best way for a school is you can just go to the website, and there's an icon on the website that says fundraising or schools, and they just click on that icon, and everything is right there online. They can partner with us. They can contact us. Somebody can explain it to them. If there's anything missing, somebody can explain it to them over the phone, and one of our staff members will call, and they'll get right in there with them.
And so what you're providing is not only a learning medium. These children are learning how to grow the vegetables. They're learning science. They're learning math. You know, how many inches or centimeters did this plant grow? How much water do we give it? So as far as meeting the core curriculum and the STEM requirements of schools, there's so many ways to bridge between the Growum's package and the kids. But then there's also, I think I read on a little excerpt from you guys that it sort of builds a sense of community and accomplishment, like when kids grow a garden together and they sort of develop some sort of attachment to the food. They understand this is where my food comes from, and they, I think, in turn are probably more willing to try different fruits and vegetables because of their interaction with the plants from the very beginning. The pride, I think, is one thing I read. You guys really help instill pride in children that they've created, they've grown and nurtured this little tiny seed into something that they can actually eat and something that's useful. Is that what you guys are finding, or the real secret sauce of your program?
Well, we did some studies, and coming from the background and having a team all around me that was very involved in this industry for hundreds of years combined, we have found, we did some research, and studies show better than 95% of the kids that grow vegetables, regardless of what kind of vegetable it is, if they grow it, they will eat it at least one time.
Wow.
So, yeah, and it's true. I tested it out on my own kids when they were 9 years old, and I first started testing this whole thing out. I grew an eggplant, and they just couldn't wait to pick it. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they didn't know what an eggplant was. But if you served eggplant to them and told them, hey, we're having eggplant tonight, they would have probably been like, oh, that's gross. I don't want to eat that. But now that it was theirs, they wanted mommy to cook it for them. Fortunately for them, my wife went to a culinary school, so that.
Oh wow! Okay, you guys had a leg up. That's a little unfair.
So that helped, But we've also seen, that sense of accomplishment and that sense of kids working together. Not only is it great for family relationships because mom and dad and the kids, and they're all out there doing things, the way our videos are set up, it's every 10 days there's a new series of videos of what to do for the next 10 days.
Okay.
So you've got family involvement all the time, but when it comes from classroom to classroom, we actually had classrooms. We did this big initiative over in Aruba, and the school systems over in Aruba were then getting together with school systems over here, and they were Skyping, or Google Hangouts, kind of like we're doing right now, and they were telling each other and sharing with each other the stories about their gardens and how they were growing and things that were working and so on and so forth. So it's amazing. It's worked from overseas. It's pretty cool.
So it's like a cultural collaboration as well. Like there's different climates, there's different cultures, different growing seasons, different growing mediums. Although you guys provide the initial pellet. Do they then take these pellets and put them in their native soil right there? Is that right? Do they plant them in the yard?
That's the nice part about it. Once one of these pellets starts the seeds in there, and the pellets are made out of the inside of a coconut husk. They're made out of cocoa coir. Yeah, and we use a special. If it was coffee, we use a special grind that allows more airflow into it at the same time that it's holding a bunch of water. So it's like almost like its own natural hydroponic garden to start it in.
Wow.
And then they just take the whole pellet, and they've got their little plant tag that comes with it with the character on it, so they know exactly what they're growing, and they just put that in the dirt, the whole thing, and then any of the paper or the outside wrapping, that stuff is made out of either corn syrup or paper, and it just after time just biodegrades. So.
Oh, so you're being environmentally conscious with this project. You're using natural, the natural things like the coconut, which makes it, I would think, more of an organic type of experience. And the pen pal thing, is that something that's going on right now? We're not pen pals, now we're going to be Growum's pals. Is that going on in the schools?
You know what? Somebody actually just said something about grow pals and stuff, and I'm like, okay, where did that come from? You know, so it's just it just happens, and
Okay.
I love the fact that it happens. And from time to time, I'll tell you, sitting at my desk, you know, I've literally been sitting at my desk. I receive an envelope, and I'll have to shut the door because I'll start crying like a baby, because here is like an entire school that has drawn, each kid has drawn pictures of their garden and what they've done, and yeah, and they're like sending me thank yous and things, and I just think that, you know, you don't set out to do that, but to see that kind of gratification, and I guess if there was one kind of cult that I would like to create, then it was growing vegetables and kids eating healthier. That wouldn't be so bad, would it?
I think that's an awesome initiative, and it takes us back to, you know, our roots, not to have a pun there, but, you know, I grew up in a farming community, and I grew my own vegetables, and my grandfather had a farm, and I'm not that old, so it's not that long ago, not that far removed from us, that we can still remember what we did as children and pass that on to our children. So I love that you had this multi-generational experience, that you are carrying on a tradition that's been rich in your family for a long time. And then I was reading something here that your team sent me. The fundraisers, how, I guess, is there anything that you might want to share on that particular endeavor about the fundraisers? How simple is it to get the kits? What have you found to be a successful mode of communicating about this, and best ways to get people excited about Growums as a fundraiser?
Yes, I think that the fundraisers, the nice thing is that you can contact other schools, and they can tell you that they've worked. You know, they're not. It's kind of funny because they're getting better and better. Every 6 months, it seems like there's more and more, and then the orders seem to get bigger. I don't think that people just jumped over and they're like, so where's the candy bars? You know, but
right.
Yeah, but now they're seeing more on TV about childhood obesity, and
Absolutely.
they're seeing, yeah, because of the technology that we have at our fingertips, and then once the school takes a fundraiser on, I think it really comes down to the simple thing, and the simple thing is, you know, for $10 you can grow almost $100 worth of food for yourself, and there's really not, you know, there's not any candy bars or anything like that can replace that kind of comment. So, and for people to get an entire garden in that little kit that you just showed, you know, a salad garden, you got cucumbers, you got lettuce, you got tomatoes, and I believe basil in there.
Okay.
So, you know, that's something that people can use almost every single day.
I just can't believe how practical and how resourceful this is. And you said it's $10 to buy the kit, but the school gets 50% of that right back, correct, in the fundraising?
Yes.
So really, you spent $5 for your kit, and you gave $5 to your school, and you got an amazing tool for your child to learn with, and develop and cultivate, for a great word to use there, cultivate their love of fresh fruits and vegetables. So brilliant idea. So excited to have you come and share this with our audience, and I hope that all the listeners will click on, we have an attachment at the end of the email that we send out that's going to have your video on there. And so from today's email, if people would just go back and look, you can click on Growums, go check out the website, look at the fundraising information, and Mike, your team is available to answer any questions that they might have, correct?
Anytime. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Well, any last parting thoughts that you might want to share?
Well, you know, just keep an eye on our growth as a company, because we've got we've got probably about over the next 12 to 18, 24 months, we've got about a dozen different products that'll come out. Anything, and we've already got a couple of them that are out there. So you got your starter kits, and then we'll have our own soils that'll come out, and we've got our own, hopefully our own super plant foods and different types of gardens. We've got the fruit gardens coming out, and raised beds and container gardens and so on. So
Wow.
keep an eye out for the different products. Yeah, what we're hoping to do is really create this whole, again, have this whole world be created around children's wellness through gardening, and so that kind of makes us almost like a little garden center inside of the garden centers or inside of the stores. So we want to be able to provide the whole experience, and I mean that it's an experience. We want to be able to provide the whole experience for the kids, so that they can say, "This is mine, and I grew it, and now I'm going to eat it."
Yeah, and so just to clarify, when people are listening right now, Mike means that the Growums are going to be in your retail stores, like they are right now, getting them in Targets and Walmarts and Lowe's and Home Depot. So you don't have to necessarily go to the website and have it shipped to you. You can just go right in your local neighborhood, hopefully, and find all these wonderful tools that Mike and his team are putting together at your local retail stores, correct?
Well, they're not at the retail stores right now, but they will be coming for spring of 2015.
Okay.
We did a test market into the retail stores about a year ago, and so we tweaked the packages a little bit, so that now instead of just having 8 pellets, we'll have 16 pellets in there. So you'll have up to 16 different plants that you could be growing, and there's some additions that are going to be involved in all that. But yeah, they'll be out on the store shelves.
Perfect. So right now, the way to get the Growums is to go to your website, and then in the spring, it should be available in the retail area. People can start looking for it there as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully everybody go out and get your gardens. Well, I don't know what we're going to grow right now in the winter, but be planning on your spring garden and make sure that you get the Growums. And Mike, thank you again for sharing your ideas and your successes with your company and how you're impacting the kids in a very positive way. So just great to meet you, and I appreciate you being a part of the Healthy Schools Revolution.
Very nice to meet you too, and thanks for reaching out to us. It was very exciting.
Well, we're going to have you back in the spring. We're going to do another launch in the spring, and we'll have you back to talk about spring gardens if you're up for that.
Perfect.
That'd be great.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I'd love to be a part of it.
Okay, well, thanks for your time, everybody. We're going to call this a wrap, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next Healthy Schools Revolution interview.
Yay, thanks, Carmen.
Bye.